Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to be going over and showing you how to install the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver here on our 2021 Honda Odyssey. So it is a visible hitch, meaning we can see the cross tube, but because it's visible we don't have to do any trimming to the bottom side of the bumper fascia. A lot of those hidden hitches that you see, they do require some trimming and modifications to the bottom side of the bumper. Therefore, we're retaining a factory-like vehicle appearance here without any modifications. So if we take a closer look at the trailer hitch here, something I really like about the etrailer hitch is the finish that we use. So this has a matte finish, which works really well. Not only does it blend in with the vehicle better, it also does a better job of help hiding nicks and scratches. So adding a trailer hitch to your Odyssey is going to be a very wise choice because it's going to make our vehicle that much more versatile. Number one, we can obviously use our trailer hitch for towing. So we're going to have a Class 3 rating with our trailer hitch, which is going to provide us with a 3,500 pound gross trailer weight rating, which is the amount we can pull outward on the receiver tube. It's also going to provide us with a 525 pound tongue weight rating, which is going to be the downward force on the receiver tube. Now, if we like, we can also use this trailer hitch with a weight distribution system. If we do, the gross trailer weight rating will actually increase to 5,000 pounds. However, keep in mind, the trailer hitch and the vehicle capacity, they're tested separately of one another, so we do need to go by the lower of the two rated components. So we can also use our trailer hitch for bike racks and cargo carriers, whether we want to hit the trails or free up some space inside our vehicle. Now we're going to have a 2-inch by 2-inch industry standard receiver tube opening, which is going to be the larger of the two openings for this vehicle here. And because of this, we're going to have plenty of hitch mounted accessories to choose from, because there are definitely a lot more that fit the 2-inch receiver tube opening than the smaller 1 1/4. We have plenty of these to choose from here at eTrailer. So on the side of the receiver tube, we're going to have an industry standard 5/8 inch diameter hitch pin hole, which will accept the standard 5/8 inch diameter hitch pin and clip. Keep in mind, this is going to be sold separately. It doesn't actually come with the trailer hitch. Most bike racks and cargo carriers are actually going to have their own hitch pin, but if you're using it for a ball mount, you will need to purchase a hitch pin and clip separately. Then also on the bottom here, we have our welded on safety chain tabs. Those will accept both the smaller S-type as well as the larger clevis type hooks. And next, I like to give the distance from the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening. That'll be useful when you're selecting a ball mount, so you can make sure you get the correct rise and drop to tow your trailer level. We're looking at about right at 14 inches for that measurement. And then finally, we have the distance from the center of the hitch pin hole to the outside edge of the bumper. That'll be useful when you're selecting your folding accessories, such as a bike rack or cargo carrier. That way you can make sure while they're in the stowed position that they don't contact the bumper. That measurement there is going to be 3.5 inches. So in regards to installation, this one is super simple. It's definitely something you guys can do at home by yourself. We actually don't have to make any modifications to the vehicle whatsoever if you choose so. Therefore, we're keeping our Odyssey completely factory. We also don't really need any specialized tools. So again, it's definitely something I think you guys can do at home by yourselves. Let's go ahead and walk you through that now. So the first step of our installation, we want to come over here to the driver's side of the vehicle, underneath the bumper, and we're going to be looking for a panel here. If present, your model may or may not have this. Ours does, so we get to show you what it looks like. But here it is. We actually need to go ahead and remove this to install our trailer hitch. So we're going to have a few different types of fasteners holding this on. The first ones what we have here, these little push pin fasteners. We're going to get a trim panel tool. We're going to remove each of these. There's going to be a couple along the outside edges here. We'll just simply take our tool, pry out the center section. We should be able to remove the rest completely. And then if we come inside the wheel well liner here, you're going to see we have one Phillips head screw up here. That needs to come out as well. With that removed, we should be able to just pull our panel out. We can go ahead and set this aside. So now we're going to come over to the passenger side here, you're going to see we have this little plastic exhaust deflector right above the tailpipe. There's going to be 2 push pin fasteners we need to take out because we need to remove this as well. So now we're going to come to the outside here. We're going to be looking at the bottom of the frame here. On either side, you need to do this on both. It doesn't matter which one you do first. We need to go ahead and feed our carriage bolt and our spacer block through this large access hole here. That's going to be an attachment point for our hitch. Now we're going to be using a reverse fish wire technique to get our hardware into that. So we're going to take our fish wire here, we're going to slip over our spacer block, and then we're going to thread on our carriage bolt. Then we're going to shove the carriage bolt up into the frame, follow that up with our spacer block, and then just pull it straight down like so. Repeat the same process on the other side. Now directly beside that, we're going to see we have 2 factory weld nuts in the frame here. Our hitch is going to utilize these as well using the provided hardware. It's going to be a good idea to go ahead and clean these out beforehand. So in order to do that, we can just take any sort of general purpose spray lubricant, spray that in there, and then sort of a wire brush to clean them out. And if you want, you can actually take one of the bolts in your kit here, and you can just go ahead and thread that in to make sure there isn't going to be any issues. So now we're going to go ahead and prep our hardware. So on each side, we're going to need 1 flange nut. Then we're going to need 2 of our hex bolts here, along with 2 of the conical tooth washers. We want to make sure that when we install the washer on the bolt, that the teeth are going to be facing up towards the hitch. So now we're going to take our trailer hitch here, we're going to set it up into position on the vehicle. If you have an extra set of hands, that'll help you for this step here, but you can do it by yourself. We're going to take this side over here, we're going to place it up and over the exhaust. We should be able to actually use the exhaust to support it. So now we'll take our pull wire here, we'll insert it into the rearwardmost hole on our hitch. We're going to grab one of our bolts here. We'll go ahead and set it up into position. Now that we have one bolt holding it in on the other side, we'll come back over here to the side that our exhaust is on, and we'll go ahead and insert another fastener as well to hold it in place better. Now that we have a couple bolts holding the hitch up into position, we'll go ahead and just insert our remaining fasteners. So you want to be careful when you're installing the flange nut on our carriage bolt here, because you don't want to push it back up inside the frame here. So if you just take your finger, put pressure on the side of that bolt, you can stop it from going up into the frame. Now that we have everything in position, we can come back. I'm going to use our 19mm socket for these 2 bolts here, and then an 11/16 for this nut here. We're just going to go ahead and snug everything up. So now that we have all of our hardware snug, we'll come back with our torque wrench here and torque everything to the specifications in our instructions. So now that we have the hitch torqued down, we'll come back with the exhaust deflector here. Just make sure we reinstall this. So in regards to the panel we removed on the first step on the driver's side here, we can actually go ahead and reinstall this if we like. However, it's not required. It's not going to hurt anything to leave it off. If we do want to reinstall it though, we do have to do some minor trimming. So just a little bit of a mock-up here. You can see we're going to have contact with a hitch tube on the inside of this panel here. So you'd need to trim a couple inches in and then down about 5 to 6 inches or so. A cutout that looks about like this. So if you wanted to go ahead and take a pair of tin snips, trim that out, or even a razor blade, you would actually be able to reinstall this panel. Or you can just leave it off in case you ever did remove the trailer hitch. You could install it. It'd be completely factory. And that's going to do it today for our look and installation of the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver here on our 2021 Honda Odyssey.